Hello and welcome to TechLens. This is the newest show in town. In this show, we bring you the latest in innovation, trend, and development from the world of technology. I'm Cynthia Kemuma, your guide through the latest CIO Magazine edition. If it's changing the world, we are definitely covering it. But first, the letter from the editor. Joining me is Carol Odero, who's head of content for the CIO Magazine. Hi, Carol.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm also good. How is it? How do you always feel when you write?
Creative, exhausted, confused, interested, curious, a lot of different things.
You've used so many words. Which is the key word that stands that will collect all of them together?
Curious. Definitely curious. I have to be interested in other things. Yes, I do. Though I write partly, but most of what I do is also editing and coming up with the concepts for the magazine and the website.
So that takes us right into the DecJan issue 51 magazine. That is the latest edition for the CIO. And from the magazine itself, it is really interesting, and there are a few things that caught my attention. One that I'll just love to start with is the stroking. Is it a choice of formatting? Why did you decide to stroke some words?
Well, see, the letter that I wrote for the editor was formatted around Psalm 95. I'm not religious by any means, but it kept going into my head. As it was in the beginning, is now and ever shall be, world without end. So I was thinking AI in terms of what happened at the beginning of the year, which is part of what happened in 2023. So AI is continuing in 2024. So I got ChatGPT to help me write a letter. But sometimes ChatGPT has its own language, which can be very, very ChatGPT. So I crossed out some of what I felt was very ChatGPT language and added my own. So parts of what had crossed over is what Gen AI had written, and then what was left is what I had written. So I wanted it to be AI. Yeah.
I saw some mixed reaction from a lot of readers when they were looking at the magazine. I even had some people asking me, does my magazine have a mistake?
Did we go to print like that? It was deliberate, yes. I just felt I wanted to do something different because I'm always writing a letter in the same way. So I just thought, let me just try something different. So that was what motivated it.
It was actually different. You've even already covered the other question that I was supposed to ask you, the enlisting of ChatGPT to write for you the letter of the editor. And when you used the ChatGPT to write, like generally on your own perspective, do you feel like you would have gone with the entire content of what ChatGPT gave you?
Not really. It depends on the prompt. So when I was thinking about it, I basically told ChatGPT, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I want to write. I want you to write it as if you're a tech female journalist who is looking at content for CIO Africa Magazine, for CIOs who fit this demographic and that demographic, and then write it that way. So I trained it on what to write. But a lot of the text that it did is probably ChatGPT related, but it's inspired by my idea. So I wouldn't say that. It's sort of a mix between the two. Yeah.
So that takes me to another question. As a writer, a very well-renowned writer, and I know you've written for quite a number of years, right? And ChatGPT is something that is new, and people are using it currently. If someone writes an essay using ChatGPT, the entire essay is ChatGPT. Do you feel like they used their mind there, or anything generated from ChatGPT is false?
Not necessarily.
Like
not necessarily. It depends on what you tell it to write. The problem is that what a lot of people do is you let ChatGPT do the heavy lifting intellectually. First, you should write the right prompt, tell it what you need. And then secondly, you should read what it has written and then, think through it. Don't just take it and copy paste it. A lot of people do this with letters they write for the article, for the magazines. And it can be very frustrating trying to turn it around and make it read like it was written by a human. So if ChatGPT does the writing, go back and review it. Are these really my thoughts? Do I agree with this? Does it embody what I was thinking? Rewrite it. In fact, the secret in writing is never really the first draft. It is rewriting. Yeah.
You've quoted something from the magazine. This is something that you wrote. Technology is made for people, not people for tech. Is there a misconception going around this statement?
A lot of people think that you make the technology and then you give it to people to use it. But think about what the people need. What do they want to use technology for? Or what is it that they want to achieve? And then create technology to embody that. So you start with the person in mind and then what the technology does to enhance it. You don't start with the tech and then force it on the person and then they have to use it. So the people come first, then the technology. Technology is an enabler.
So finally, you also mentioned about the growth of the CIO Africa community. What major milestone has been achieved and what more do you hope to see in 2025?
Well, I'm hoping to see more interactions with more CIOs, actually. Just going back to the last part of that question, it would be great to interact with them more frequently. I know that there is a CIO advisory board. It would be good to get their thoughts on some of the processes we go through when you're putting together the magazine. It would be good to get the CIOs to share their real-life case studies and practical examples on how they use technology. So I'd like to see more of that in the near future. The first question was?
The growth, it was the major milestone that has been achieved. And what more you hope to see in 2025 in the CIO Africa, in the CIO community?
Interestingly, I feel like CIO 100 tends to capture a lot of that because even the December-January issue is the CIO 100 issue. So a lot of the content that we have captures what the community is experiencing, how it's growing, the things that are happening around it. One of the things that I know helped with the growth of the CIO community was the DX Nova Woman of the Year award, which brings on board more women in tech. It recognizes what they do. So that was a great significant advantage. Then the CIO of the year always brings together a lot of content, a lot of applications. We get to see a lot of what the CIOs are doing, which enhances the sense of community and relationship that they have to each other.
Generally, what do you hope the readers get from this magazine, this specific edition?
That everybody is a winner. I know I hate it when I say that. I'm like, I never really believe that sometimes. But the truth is that if you're in your position as a CIO or as an IT leader, and you're doing the best that you can, and you're growing your team and you're mentoring them, you're in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. And this magazine is there to support you in doing that. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Carol. Lastly, this is now the final question. Give us a word that comes to your mind right now, any word that comes to your mind, and give us the meaning of the word.
I'm thinking of the word overthinking. We were discussing this and it came up overthinking, because that is what we do when we come up with content. We tend to think, how is it going to work? Who's going to read it? What are we going to do about it? How are we going to write it? What approach do we use? What is the angle? We think about 100 different things when it comes to just the one piece of content. So a lot of people would call that overthinking. I call it strategic. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We will definitely have you the next time.
I look forward to it, and thank you for having me.
And that was Carol Odero, who's the editor-in-chief of the CIO magazine. She said a statement that I feel it might have some mixed reaction. According to you, do you feel like everyone is a winner? Let me know your thoughts behind this. And remember to share, like, subscribe to this show. Right now, we're being joined by an amazing lady. She is a creative writer, Joanne Kaberia. She has written an amazing article about the DX Nova Woman. Hi, Joanne.
Hello, Cynthia.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm also amazing. Tell us the inspiration behind your article.
It is a story of a resilient, determined, and passionate woman who has been very passionate with her work, but with all the challenges and all the hard work she had put in, she never got the opportunity, the recognition, and then finally she bagged a win.
Right now we are going with the she. Maybe tell us her name. Which award she won?
Her name is Deborah Mutungi. She is the head of IT. She's the head of IT manager at Sarova Hotel and Resorts. And the award she went home with is the DX Nova Woman of the Year 2024.
Amazing. So while you were writing her article, is it the first time you had a first interaction with her?
Yes. Okay, no. I'm a speaker manager at events. Of course, I've seen her, I've encountered her, I've called her to mic her and all that, but I've never interacted her in a personal level. And this was my first time to actually interact with her and get to know her deeply. She's not just the person you see on surface level. I got to understand where Deborah is coming from. And through this interview, my first interview with her in doing the DX Nova interview, it's actually an honor and a privilege. I got to understand who she is and to know who Deborah is.
What award gave her the title?
You mean what the project?
Yeah, what project gave her the title?
So first of all, she submitted 2 projects. It was a blend of security and sustainability, but the award she got, the project that won her this award is the one that, the security project, which incorporated artificial intelligence, machine learning, and human expertise in it. So you see, hospitality collects a lot of data, and they're very vulnerable because people will go for that data that they're collecting. So they have this security that will monitor threats and they will analyze it manually. So that's just a brief of what this threat project, the security project that she submitted that got her this win. And the other sustainability project that she submitted that was also a potential win is the use of e-waste. The introduction of e-waste, the disposing of e-waste, and also introducing the use of wooden key cards. Mm-hmm. So her projects are really forward-thinking, impactful, and aligns with the modern responsibilities. That's what I will think.
Let me try to understand what you're saying. Here in the project of the wooden key cards. Mm-hmm. I understand, like, if you're going to hotels, and you've said she's the IT manager in Sarova Hotel.
Yes, head of IT manager.
Yes, if you're going to hotels and you book a room, nowadays we have key cards. So instead of having those key cards,
yeah, those plastic key cards that we used to have.
Yes, so we should use like wooden key cards.
Yes, I saw it. It's really classy and aesthetic. The aesthetic is just so beautiful. The wood in it, it's just nice.
Oh, that's interesting. Since you're the one who covered her story, what was the major thing that you collected from her story?
You see, normally, this is a good question. So normally, as a journalist, when you go to interview someone or collect content or do content or collect information for the content, you go there knowing that you are a bridge between this person and the people. But this was a learning journey for me. It turned from me, my work as a journalist, to taking lessons and actually reflecting on my life. And it was a moment of, there's a sense of mudita. Mudita is where you feel joy when someone shares their success. Her journey was just inspiring, and it was really beautiful to hear. It was really wonderful. And her journey of, first of all, she did not have a tech background. She's not from a tech background. And then she entered this tech background with her mentorship, mentors holding her hand, the challenges she just went through, her resilience, her passion, her determination, not winning the DX Nova 2023. She actually was nominated but did not take the win. She also was nominated. She was nominated in the 2023 45 influential women, but she didn't get the 2024 45 influential women. And with all that, I mean, a lot of people, when they reach that point of you're always putting yourself out there and you're not getting the recognition you deserve or you think you deserve, they give up. but she kept moving forward with the right people by her side, as she calls her legends. She calls them her legends.
Her team.
Her team, yeah, her team, the legends, you know, because they pushed her and she saw purpose and she went through the challenges and, you know, until she actually reached a point where she actually got this award. So I actually picked a lot. Don't give up, be patient, believe in your journey, and also success is not an individual achievement. It's a team, it's a whole people that you don't see behind you.
Do you feel like if your readers read the story that you covered, your feature story for Deborah Mutungi, are they going to get the same messages as the ones that you're passing to us right now?
Yes, it is here, it is elaborate, it is clear, straight from her quotes. It is very clear, they will get it. Because this is her whole life, from how she started, from her challenges, her downfalls too. It is not a smooth curve. It was a rocky, steep one, but she managed to reach the top.
Finally, Deborah speaks on women that made headway for her in the industry, and now as the DX Nova Woman of the Year, she's now in the limelight. Having told her story, I just have to believe that in more ways than one, she has inspired you.
She has.
In the tech space now generally, leave alone the aspect of your life.
In the tech space, yes, she had. Again, even if you've said I leave aside my aspect of my life, I also don't have a tech background, but it has, and I felt like I resonate with her story in a way, because even in my professional journey, I've always found it challenging grasping tech concepts and all that, and my purpose as a journalist to bridge the gap, to demystify and all that. So it has given me also a passion and a purpose to, you know, go get that skill, those skills, pursue as much as opportunities that I can get to actually advance myself knowledge-wise and also to empower a community. So yes, I have gotten a lot.
What message do you have for your readers?
Do not give up. Take this story, reflect, and yes, success is, humans are not an island. We are not an island. Always love support from people.
Finally, this is a question that I have to ask all the writers who are joining me here today. Give us a word that comes to your mind right now and give us the meaning of the word.
Patience.
Meaning?
Patience is waiting and waiting for the right time, not giving up on the time. And yes, it's just simple as that.
Thank you so much, Joanne, for joining us today. We were very privileged to have you here today.
Thank you for your time, Cynthia. I'm glad to be here.
That was Joanne Kaberia, who managed to capture in words the story of Deborah Mutungi, who won the DX Nova Woman Award. Right now with me, we are now going to our final segment of the day, the cover story. With us, we are joined by Kevin Namunwa, who managed to write the story about Geoffrey Gitagia, who managed to win the CIO Award of 2024. Hi, Kevin.
Hello, hi Cynthia.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm also doing good. Tell us, well, Geoffrey won the CIO Award. Was that your first encounter with him?
Yes. Okay. That was my first encounter with him as CIO of the Year. But the event was my first encounter with him. I first knew about Geoffrey because I was the facilitator on the room for healthcare, where they were doing the case studies. So I knew the people who were doing their case studies, and Geoffrey was one of them, but I had not known about him before CIO 100 event.
From that moment, did you see him as a winner of CIO? What actually did you see from him when you first met him?
I just saw a tall guy. He was a tall guy and big, who is and I saw the project that he was presenting about, And actually, all the projects from the healthcare sector were quite exceptional. So all the projects were good, and he was the first one to present. So it stuck in my mind, that project. But it didn't even come to my mind, because remember there were 17 nominees for that award. So I did not know all of them. So he was one of the people who I did not know about.
How did you feel when you were during the CIO 100 Symposium and Award when he
won?
Yes.
I was shocked. I was surprised. We normally have predictions every year. In our department, we look at the nominees and then we say, okay, so who are you backing? Who do you think will win? And we all had different names, but no one had said that Geoffrey Gitagia would win. So we were surprised and shocked at the same time. But then when I had it, I remember the project, which was the day before when he did his case study, and I said, oh yeah, but that was a good project. I just didn't know that he was among the...
What can you tell us about his project?
So his project was, he calls it kiosks, kind of service kiosks for their patients, customers. Oh, I don't know how to confuse it. In the healthcare sector, your customers are patients in a hospital. So he talked about, so this is an interface for the patients now, because the only thing that used to work that was working well in the company in Avenue Healthcare was the registration and onboarding of patients before you get now to be taken to the lab or go to see a doctor. And that process was well enough, but then people had to do it. Like you had to line up, go do this. So it was automating that and giving now the customer or the patient now an interface where in your phone you look at, you register yourself, you fill in all your details, and then now so you skip that process, and then so you are served faster.
Allow me to quote you from under the radar to center stage. What message do you hope your readers get from that?
From under the radar to center stage. So like I said, even I did not, it wasn't even in my wildest thoughts or predictions that GG would win the award, like I told you. So no one, I don't think anyone had predicted that he would win. People had predictions and people had nominees that they were backing for the award, but no one knew that GG would win. And I will tell you, no one knew because he would win because few people knew him. So that's hence under the radar. He was under the radar, literally. No one knew about him. No one knew that GG, the group of IT. Okay, there are people who knew him, but when I'm saying no one, I don't mean no one. It's kind of a figure of speech. But then from under the radar, and then he came and scooped the big award. That was the biggest award of the year in terms of technology in Africa, actually. Yeah. So from under the radar to.
And finally, how has working on the story influenced your overall perspectives on CIOs or tech leaders? On tech leaders.
And this, okay, I won't answer it in respect to GG only, because I've done a lot of interviews with a lot of CIOs before. And what we normally try to do is when people hear about the word CIOs, and in the past they were like the IT guy or the tech guy, they think of someone who is tech guru, someone who plays Dungeons and Dragons, like a geek or something. But in my interviews, I normally try to show that this is also a normal person. Like, he's not all about technology. He also plays sports. He also has a family. He or she also do this and do that. So I normally try to get that 360. And what I have learned is that these people are very interesting people when you get to know them. And they are humble. They're very humble. Everyone I've interviewed is normally very humble, down to earth, and very friendly with everyone. Because also the CIO role has evolved, and to be a CIO these days, you also have to have a lot of people skills, because you have to talk to the board, you have to have meetings here and there. So yeah, that's my take from all the CIOs that I've interviewed. Now
to our last question of the day. Think of a word, whichever word comes to your mind right now. Give us the word and give us the meaning of the word.
I thought about the word apostrophe. I don't know why I thought about that word. Apostrophe is the man you pay for apostrophe. Kidding. Apostrophe is a comma that's placed on top of a word or a letter, let me say a letter. It can be used to describe possession. I believe like it was Cynthia's apostrophe before S. It can be used also to stress on the pronunciation of words like ng'ombe in Swahili. You have to put the apostrophe for it to be ngo instead of ngo. And yeah, what else can apostrophe be? It can be used in Excel when you want to put a number, you can. So that's the word I thought about, apostrophe. Is that weird?
It is not weird.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Maybe tell us, how can we find the CIO magazine?
So if you go to our website, cioafrica.co, you can navigate to publications or news magazines, and you can purchase a specific magazine, or you can subscribe to get the entire, subscribe for a year and get a copy every month. We release a copy every month except December and January, we combine them so to make the DECJAN issues. So to get all 11 copies, you can go to our website. And another option would be, where is the magazine? Once you have this, we do have a QR code here. So once you scan it, you can subscribe or you can buy the magazine. If you've tried those two and you are unable to buy the magazine, you can reach out to me, either via email or LinkedIn or anywhere you find me, and I'll direct you. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for making time to join us today. We really appreciate your presence here today.
I'm also grateful to be here.
My name is Steve Mbego, a tech writer at CIO Africa. Welcome to Magazine Archives. As Africa's #1 technology magazine, we feature great leaders driving digital transformation in the continent. In the August 2024 issue, I wrote the story that featured an exceptional leader driving digital transformation in Kenya's public sector, Nation Odhiambo. The head of ICT at National Transport and Safety Authority has revolutionized how the authority serves citizens through a comprehensive digital overhaul. In the interview, a few things stood out. The challenging transition from private sector to the government sector. The other thing that stood out was the vital role of digital transformation in improving service delivery and the overall life of citizens. Nation has spearheaded a number of initiatives at NTSA, like centralizing driver's records. He has also helped develop an app that features all NTSA services which the public can access anywhere without having to go physically to NTSA offices. But digital transformation doesn't come without challenges. Key challenges in digital transformation that stood out were IT talent retention, data privacy, and cybersecurity risk. Nation's Odhiambo story is a testament to the power of leadership and innovation in the public sector. This year, we hope to cover similar leaders across Africa that are leading digital transformation and improving lives. To get these and other stories from our August 24 edition, go to the link in the description.
Well, folks, we've come at the end of this amazing episode. Please remember to like, share, comment, and also click on the subscription button. And if you want more information about the CIO magazine, there is a link below that provides a whole sum of information about the magazines. And remember, we are not only doing reviews for the CIO magazine. Any review that you want us to do for you, upon your request, we are willing to do the review. Thank you so much for staying with me.
Welcome to our Tech Trivia segment. This is a chance for you, the audience, to flex your tech-savvy muscles and win a free subscription to the next edition of the CIO Africa Magazine. And for today's question, in the world of computer technology, what does the acronym RAMPAGE stand for? That is RAMPAGE. Leave your answer in the comments for a chance at winning. Good luck.